ahead. You're good. Hey,
Stand
Misquick,
up.
welcome to my territory, so
Shoot,
come on
just
in.
stand up, Gecko.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay, in three, two, one, Misquick, record. Okay. So, Jerome, as you know from the
Yes.
last time we talked, we had already made the first agreements of relations on last week, or during actually this week, Wednesday is when we last talked. The last time we were in discussions in private here on this very place, we had agreed or made a talk about wanting to talk about the terms of agreement of service. Granted that this is the process of an alliance being built, as you contacted us directly from the uh, HCD server that the White Wolves inherited, and you also, the last time we were talking, made agreements of discussion on what kind of things we were going to do for you in return, just as you would do for us. But we were on the topic of finishing up what White Wolves was going to do for you in exchange for what we needed from you guys for us to do our work, or for us to begin the process of a new relation.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay. So the last time we talked, here was the agreements on stuff we were talking about. Keep in mind, none of the stuff that we had talked about were ever set in stone, but these were the recommendations you had requested for us, just as we had requested from you. So let's start with your request. Your current request, as required, were, I believe, three things in total. So let me be sure this is right. Number one, you had requested basically for recruits. So this includes, needing us to help you gain recruits. Some may be by protection, some may be us legitimately recruiting your guys. The second thing is you requested maps that were UNSC related. Some can be for like your trainings or your recruitments or like your headquarters or whatever. That was your second one. And then for your third one, I believe that last request basically was for us to begin a relation in growing between the two sides and building more close communication with White Wolves. But am I correct on these three, or did I forget something?
Yeah, but there was four.
Okay, what was the fourth?
The fourth one was either, let's say, away for a certain amount of time. One of our representatives or your representatives move into either clan to help as a temporary leader. Remember?
Okay, right. Okay. All right, so these were the four things you had requested of us that we wanted to, you wanted agreed by us to begin relations. So with that being said, now I'm going to go over, as I have documented the agreements. White Wolves has an offer, and since I know Samaritan's got experience, Samir, once I finish my statement, unless there's anything else idea-wise that's fair between the both sides or you feel may be needed, you may stay your piece after I say the main, so listen carefully, Samaritan, tell me if we need to add anything else, but I'm pretty sure what I stated here was pretty set in stone, but let's give it a shot. Okay, so first thing, the White Wolves are able to help be able to do all this. And as stated before from the last meeting, we had made a quote directly stating that we are not a clan, keep in mind, but a group. So that means that unfortunately we cannot recruit for any of our groups. So if we help you and you needed us to recruit, White Wolves will gladly reject that offer only because we recruit on our own terms and I'm basically the main recruiter who grants access of membership to anybody in the group. With that being stated, the offer we had given out it for you, so we're able to fulfill the offer that you have requested. Here is what we need from you of our list. Number one, what I need basically for me in general to start off with as Grandmaster of White Wolves, I need basically commander roles or some kind of high-ranking roles so that way in the event you step out or you grant me permission to train any of your members or guys for whatever reason, I need some kind of role that will allow me so that when you step out, it grants me commanding control of your units. Now, granted, I am aware that your group is split into different divisions, being like Marine and ODST, so I understand there's a leader different for each one. So hopefully we can eventually come to agreement of what kind of role I can have control for of the branches, so that way I'm able to serve my job well. But this role will only stick with me right now, as any other commanding roles, like maybe commander in your groups for any of your branches, or like sergeant, that will have to be given once I see fit for my guys. So I'll let you know who I think will have it. But the good news is you won't have to worry about that too much, since the only person I would see fit given that role to is like maybe what is it, like Mini, but he's not here right now, and plus he does his own stuff. So again, it would just be me and usual control. So that's the
Mhm.
first agreement. The second agreement basically is, excuse me. The second agreement basically is that we need for White Wolves to have constant communication with you, so that way we're able to work things out and talk individually to your members and you too. So that way we can begin relations, as the relation should be more than just a clan work in our eyes, as we understand, most people in the community like it where the talking and stuff they have is related to the clan work, and that's fine if that's what you feel is what needed to start. But what White Wolves is hoping to seek in return for all this is a better communication with each other, and to learn and see more about each other and keep up with close relations, even if it's just one of us helping or hanging out with you to fill the bargain that we agree with. So communication is the second thing we want in return. And finally, which is for the third option, is let's see.
Not
The
option, by the
last
way.
option.
Quest.
Oh yeah, well sorry, yeah, the request, I'm sorry. Okay. The last request basically is we ask if we are going to be able to help your group out for any reason, intelligence that your clan may need to protect it from dangers from the outside or just from danger from itself when something happens. We request basically to also represent for your group any kind of foreign affairs if you see fit. So that way, the foreign affairs we deal with is our own private ones, but information we find important that relates to your community or your clan in general, we wish to share with you, so that way your clan we can be protected and not have to deal with any kind of future dangers.
Mhm.
But basically, to compromise the full in short stuff, I need the leadership commands for the first request, communication between our two groups, and especially a role in outside intelligence.
Alright.
And that is basically the three White Wolf requests we have. Now, Samaritan, since I resolved that, is there anything you think we should request as well, or do you think that's kind of enough?
I think that's fun.
Okay. So I guess we're kind of set.
Alright.
So now to the real business of compromise or talk. Since obviously we can't just immediately forward with this, especially of how you run. So there's going to have to be some kind of talk of what we feel. So I think I'm going to let you have your say, since I kind of already stated mine.
Okay, so requests or
Like for you to talk about, you know, the agreement.
for me to talk about the agreement. Um, okay.
Like, is there something you don't
So,
like, or
oh, okay.
well,
So,
yeah, I'm just saying compromise. Talks.
yeah, yeah. Okay, now I understand what you mean. Alright, so what I would foreign affairs, okay. So what do you want by foreign affairs? Not just do you want anything more or less than foreign affairs, or it's great.
Okay.
Can you edit this part out, by the way? That little silence part. Um, what do you mean by foreign affairs? Do you mean just by like
So,
internal
like,
conflicts, wars?
so like what that mean? Yeah. So like, what this means basically for your group is like, so the jobs are groups we meet out there. For example, one of our closest relations right now is with the Blood Angels from the 40K community. So that's just an example. So what we do is we mess with that business on our own. Your clan will also have to do its own job in foreign affairs, developing it specifically for your group. Because then what will happen is, in the event should anything in your side groups go wrong, like for example, war is on the rise, or maybe you're having some kind of eternal affair between two sides, as this will basically grant me the ability of mediator or arbitrator. So that way I'm able to talk with these two and gather a meeting to appoint some kind of way of relational peace and to see what we can do to kind of you know, cooperate and find a new kind of way of fixing the situation without leading to an internal conflict. It
Okay.
protects both your groups as well as your alliances.
Yes. Okay. So now I understand what you mean by foreign affairs. I agree with that.
Just to show you a sign of proof, so that way you're assured that this isn't just something I'm but actually generally have the experience since that's something I believe in. Um, recently, 2 months ago, on February 12th, one of the groups that we were working with, unfortunately, was in a conflict with a group. I forgot what they were, but they were basically like this interplanetary system, right? So one was known as the Colonial Federation of Planets, was the one I was working with, but they were about to go into a full-fledged war with this one group. So what happened was I had offered because I guess they wanted to try and work things out. So I did bring them to a private server, but then I guess they wanted to actually talk. The leader couldn't talk because he was called, but I had voluntarily said, "Hey, I mean, if you want, I can speak for you." So I did. The good news is it went very successful and the war was prevented. So that's the reason why I recommend these rules is because I have stopped about, I think in total my career as a leader, 4 wars from happening.
Okay. All right. Okay. There's one thing I need to get this straight. If one of my members or me goes AFK or not AFK, gone for a certain amount of time, um, you said that I should give you a role that would give you command over them or something like that.
Right. And then it would,
There are certain things I can do and cannot do. The things I cannot do is let's say I cannot give you control over Gecko. That's one thing I cannot do. Or let's say the COs. They have the same amount of power as I do because we're on equal terms. Yes, I'm a higher rank. I'm the leader of the clan. That doesn't mean anything. We have the same amount of power.
no, I understand that. So that's why I'm saying I'm not asking to be in control of guys you're saying that I can't be of. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm asking basically is control of the, beginners, the recruits, and the low ranks. So that way, then the higher
Yes.
ranks, I don't expand to be in control of them. But what I do expect is to work together with them. So like it's a co-op of things. So I can, while you're out or some of your higher ups are out, I'll be in control temporarily of your soldiers to be sure that they're in track, they're following your guidelines, which I do request to, so I can be sure I'm obeying it right and not with my own ideas. And then two, basically that way with your higher up, should they be there, I know I can't be in control of them because that's their job. My hope is then to work together with them, so that way it's like a co-leadership, if you know what I mean. So like I can be in control of this, and they can do that. So that way it's a cooperative. So that way I'm not trying to be above them because that's not the point of what I'm doing. The point with my leadership is to use it to work together with higher ups of your hierarchy, but also to use it to be in control of your minority soldiers. So that way I'm able to be sure everything is in a balanced order.
Yeah, that's understandable. All right. So, since we got that squared out of the way, can I request another thing that I think both
Um,
sides should agree on?
okay, well, we'll hear it out.
All right. So let's say like someone is promoted in my group or someone is getting a higher rank and getting a ceremony or whatever. Like let's say a party or type of event that's happening because they're getting like a promotion or whatever. I think
Okay.
both sides should be able to, if they are friends or if they need help in some sort of way, I think both sides should be able to let their members
Like they should be able to
attend
attend it.
that. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can agree with that, yeah. But I would want to alter it to one thing. What I'd recommend is since we are allies and people working together in this event, I would recommend saying yes, let's forward with being able to attend. My only recommendation is what you should do is send me an invitation to me and when it's happening. Because then what if we can't make it and you're wanting to do the ceremony, but you're waiting on us, but we're not even coming. So my fear is that that's ruining the ceremony, but also is stopping you from getting your work done. So my recommendation is this. Definitely go for it. But I would recommend in those events, please be sure that it's an invitation sent out ahead of time so we know. And also, we'll let you know who
Yes.
can come and who can't. Because obviously, it's like, what if I'm really busy with school and I can't make it? But what if Samaritan or medical wants to make it? So they can be my reps to witness or record what you're doing. And, maybe I might attend, but it depends. But the point is, the invitation was sent out, and we can let you know who can't make it, or if none of us can make it at all. So that way you know ahead of time, and that way you still have your ceremony regardless of if we're there or not, and that way it's fair and does not interfere with your system. Because my fear
That's
is, what
what I
if
was gonna.
yeah, because I'm saying my fear is, but what if you suggest you want us to come, right? And you expect us to be there, and then we're not even there at all, and that just ruins your host ceremony and your work. So that's what we don't want.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right.
I was gonna do that anyways. I was gonna do that anyways, and just to warn you, let's. This is actually happening though. Gecko is getting a promotion back to CO today. I hope. Uh,
Today or
that's yeah today.
okay. Well, we're so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. Is there what else do you think this should go on the topic of our affairs
Okay, well,
with each other?
the problem with it, I think, is keep in mind this is just the first meeting. I'm sure we're gonna have many others in the future regarding other situations, but the problem is until we actually agree to do other stuff, my only problem is I don't feel like going. I can maybe recommend some ideas, but I can't really go too far because we haven't really developed that good, and we don't even know if the relation's gonna work or not. So that's why this is an Eternal Affairs meeting to agree on terms and then to see how it plays out. Because this could go really bad, and then we just agree to stop it here and now. So that's why I wouldn't recommend going with other future plans and waste our time setting it up.
All right. So we both agreed on terms, correct?
Which term was this in specific?
Uh, our requests for each other
Um,
on the terms of
yeah.
the
So
agreement.
yeah. So I think we agree on the invitation stuff. That depends. Samara Medical. Do you think that's a good idea with it?
Of course.
Okay. And then what about what is it? The term of handing the maps. Do you think we could do that?
Uh, yeah.
Okay. So I think we're kind of squared away mostly. So I think we agree with it. There's just one term in particular I don't think I really got enough information on. So then what
All
are we
right. What
doing
is that term?
exactly as of the leadership role, the temp leader? So we want to be able to do it, but I need to know in your system what kind of rank would I be granted temporarily to be able to have that kind of permission to be in control of the minority soldiers of your group? What kind of role are we
The
looking at?
rank.
Like commander, sergeant, general, etc.?
Well, okay. Since I'm a Spartan and I'm going by Navy ranks, Gecko's by the Marine Corps. He's going by Marine ranks. Um. So I would put you as a Navy rank since if I was in place, you would be put as a Navy rank. If Gecko is out of league and he was gone, you would be put in a Marine rank, or the Marine CO, you would be put in a Marine rank. For the Marine CO, if he was gone, I would give you a O2 position. If Gecko was gone, I would give you a O6 position, and if I was gone, or not O6, I would give you O5 Gecko, and if I would gone, I would give you an O6 position. But even if the higher COs have the exact authority, they're just the highest ranks of their branch. Doesn't matter if they're
Right.
a higher rank individually. It doesn't matter about that. Since they're CO, they're holding the same title, but just for a different branch, so they have the same authority over each other. A CO cannot boss another CO around. The only person that can boss a CO around is me, but as a temp leader, you cannot do that.
Okay.
So that's how
So I
that
think that's the
would work.
final. Okay, so that's good since we know about then what kind of rank I would receive temporarily in the work in that. The only thing I can really think of that I'd ask, which I think is the most important, and I should be officially concluded with the terms, is now what stuff am I allowed to do with it, and what can I not do with it?
You can command smaller troops, like the enlisted, and you can tell them what to do. You can give like ODSTs or special forces certain tasks, like if you're the leader of that branch. I am the leader of the Spartan branch, which is not open yet. So you would be like you'd have leadership over the like you tell them certain ranks and stuff, but that's how that would work. Uh,
Okay.
and if the ODSTs, you have command over them, except they have a say so on what. The Spartans, they don't have a say so on your authority because Spartans, they're trained like that. They don't have a say so. Um, unless it's like super stupid. I train them if they're like, let's say if you said, "Hey, kill all your teammates," they're allowed to question stupid shit like that.
Okay,
But
yeah, no,
let's
well,
say
I'm not
if it
gonna request
was
stuff like that.
yeah, and if it was like Gecko, if you were filling in for Gecko, you would have authority over the ODSTs, and they have a right to question your authority a little bit. If they get too out of hand for it, you should tell them, "Hey, stop! You're not allowed to do that." If it comes
Okay.
down to it, tell me you're another CO. And for the Marines, let's say you were the top CO for the Marines, you'd have a basically fucking complete control over them. Besides, they're allowed to question authority only if it's stupid.
Okay. No, I think that could work out then. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so then my only question would be, since I think that's what I can do, now what about what I'm not allowed to do?
What you're not allowed to do is, let's say, what you're not allowed to do is if you're like an ODST CO, you can't boss around the Spartans whatsoever. If you're a Marine CO, you can't boss around the ODSTs. If you're an ODST CO, you can't boss around the Marines. And you can't boss around the ODSTs or Marines if you're a Spartan CO.
Okay, so basically, for short, basically, I have the same command rules to do the certain works I need to do while in game, which is where I get my basically what it is it's I'm assigned a specific leadership should a specific group of a leader be gone, right? So if the CEO of the Marines is out,
Yes.
I have the position temp in that to command and go into the low rank initiates and the lower ranks of the Marine groups, and then work together with any other higher groups that may have the same power control in there. But then what I'm not allowed to do is if I'm assigned to one specific type of group, right, like the ODSTs,
Yes.
I can't command the Marine or the Spartans. If I'm given the Spartans, not the ODST or the Marines, but if the Marines, not the ODST and the Spartans. So my leadership can only go to what you assign and allow me to, and has to stick by the UNSC guidebook.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, I'm just gonna say this now: if you break the ROE, one of the other COs are allowed to say, "Hey, fucking stop that." You get
Okay.
warnings if you break the ROE. The other COs give you warnings if like one of their lower ranks that you were doing say, "Hey, this guy broke ROE. We're gonna look into it." And if you did, we're gonna say, "Hey, fucking stop that. And we're gonna give you a strike." And if let's say you get 4 strikes, you're kicked out of that position for a certain amount of time.
Okay. Yeah, no, bet you won't catch me doing that. And like I said, the only way I don't make those mistakes is like an agreement. If we agree to this arrangement, what I'll need then is the rule books to know what to do in the ROEs, so that way I can be prompted of them.
Yes. Our
Okay.
ROE is on our ROE is on our Discord. Let's say when you're temporarily there, I'll invite you to the Discord server, and you can read the ROE. But when you're not there, when you're not CO, I'll tell you to leave, and it'll just rinse
Okay.
and repeat every time. So
No,
never
that
mind
sounds
if
good
I
though.
make it sound. Yeah. So if we both agreed on terms, correct or not correct?
Um, let's see. So, medical Samaritan, you guys think we're officially good with the talks and that? Like, do we both agree?
Copy.
Yes.
All right. So,
All
since
right.
my people have spoken, the
Wait,
White Wolves have
wait.
agreed to both terms.
Gecko, do you agree to these terms? You have to speak, not type. You have to speak. Okay. The Dynasty Valiant has agreed to these terms. So, as officially both sides have agreed to these terms, and I guess this meeting is adjourned.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So thank you again, Jerome, for your time and for contacting the White Wolves in the talks. We'll see what we can do about future relations, and you know, hopefully we can come across some good stuff in the future. But as always, and the motto of the White Wolves anyway, may our nation prosper. And Misquick,
All
I would
right.
like you to please end recording. Meeting adjourned.